So in my last video, somebody commented about whether or not I had jumped to Lunar Client again. So here's a little story about my experience with clients, including some of the lesser known and accessible ones. So my adventure started in around 2020 with Badlion Client. I think I just saw it on a YouTube video, so I thought I'd give it a shot, especially since I didn't have any mods at all at the time. Like every other noob, I had way too many mods on the screen, but that was alright. And then I eventually switched it over to Lunar because one or two mods were accessible on it and they didn't have it on Badlion at the time, and I got some peer pressure from my friends. So I eventually just downloaded it and I actually cleaned up my layout a little bit more with the mods. Nowadays, I'd say that Badlion is a solid client still, with plenty of mods and features. The frame rates were really good, but I have some really weird like frame rate stuttering issues when I use it. Like I'll have like 500 frames a second, and then out of nowhere it will jump down to 30 for about 30 seconds straight. So I don't know if they fixed that yet, but I had to switch off it like really recently just because of that. So Lunar Client was pretty good as well. The frame rate was better than Badlion at the time. Now I believe they're around the same. And that was pretty important for me because at the time my computer was on the weaker side and I needed to get lots of frames just so I could record and stream stably without, you know, dipping below 60 or 100 or whatever my goal was at the time. Then I ended up switching off it because I don't really like their decisions about certain mods. Like they removed replay mod without really saying much. It just broke one day. I messaged them and they just said, "Oh yeah, we're just going to remove it." And I thought, oh crap, okay. And then another thing is that they actually have stolen a lot of code from smaller creators and like developers. I know that there's a lot of drama about this very thing, and I know that like Badlion, for example, isn't innocent, probably isn't innocent either, but I'm just saying that Lunar is guilty as well, because they have actually been going around accusing other people of this, even though they are guilty. Just kind of makes them a hypocrite, you know? So I eventually switched off that fully once they removed replay mod. I did a video on this, so I don't really need to say much else. So from that point, I had a pretty long-standing relationship with LabyMod and Forge. So I used Forge as my main mod, as in my main mod loader, and then I put LabyMod on top of it. I really need to stress that because people still don't seem to understand, even though I say it in every video that I mention LabyMod. So I installed basically every mod I realistically wanted, and I still had the, you know, unique abilities of LabyMod and their little convenient features. It was really good, and I was actually partnered with Labby for a year. It was pretty cool. So during this time, I actually had a run-in with Melon Client. I even got appointed as a manager at one point. I'm not really sure why, but I did. So things were handled pretty unprofessionally, which I really didn't like. Their progress was really slow to non-existent, and the whole like payment system that they had for their staff was kind of stuffed. I have nothing against them or their client. I'm personally friends with the owners, and I just don't think they're too ready for the messes. If you're Elon and you're watching this, DM me and I will explain to you what I think the issues are. So since I had a couple of videos made about clients and I was pretty vocal about my opinions, the owner of Feather Client actually reached out to me and gave me exclusive access to their very, very private beta. I wasn't actually even allowed to talk about the existence of the client at the time, and it had plenty of bugs. It's now developed enough to the point that I'd say it's a fully functional client, and for the record, I was given access to it for free, so I don't really have an opinion on whether or not you should pay like $12 to get the cape and exclusive access right now, or if you should just wait for it to be fully released and become free. I personally like them over LabyMod and Forge because they're just more updated and it just feels more alive, since LabyMod hasn't had a decent update for ages and it's starting to get up there with the glitches. So the reason that I like overall have picked Feather and I'm using Feather at the moment is that it basically has all of the benefits of Lunar Client, as well as all the benefits of having a Forge installation. The customizability is just endless. Now, I know that there's a lot of drama around it, but I'll discuss that in a different video because I think a lot of the points are stupid and I've already edged on it slightly today. So I'm going to stick with Feather for the moment. I'm going to use Lunar when playing on my ult because I can't use Feather on my ult at the moment. That's due to just how the beta licensing works. And I'll also use multi-MC for all my other mod profiles and things, which is something that I definitely recommend you trying out. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to make a comment or argue with me in the comments about Feather if you want to. And I hope to see you next one. Goodbye.